I'm here to tell you something that most of you already know. And if you already know it, you may be asking why I'm telling you it. I always think that it's better to have more ammunition. So if you're trying to make a point, gather as many points as you can, as much evidence as you can. What you already know is that Toastmasters creates effective communicators. And I'm here to share a story with you about this past week that is going to give you something more to talk about. As many of you know, I'm trying to start a Toastmaster club on the campus of Champlain College because that's where I work. I think it would be a great benefit to students, faculty, and staff. So Wednesday of last week, I was asked to speak to the staff council and present what the Toastmasters is and why people should join. So I got up on the stage, and we were in the big auditorium. There was 50 or 60 people there. And I said, how many of you are great speakers? Now this could have been a disaster, because if everyone had raised their hands, I probably would have lost all momentum and not been able to talk about anything. Fortunately, it's a curse. Not everybody's a great communicator. There was one person who really felt that they were a great communicator in the audience. So I said, great, you're the perfect audience. I said, how many of you would like to be a better communicator? And most people raised their hand. I said, how many of you know leaders that want to be or should be better communicators? And again, most of them raised their hands. Because just because you're a leader doesn't mean you're a great communicator. So I said, great. I said, this is the audience for me. So I started off with the Jerry Seinfeld joke. And if you don't know the Jerry Seinfeld joke, you need to learn it, because it is Toastmasters in a bundle. Jerry Seinfeld says, a survey was done, and people said that their number one fear was public speaking. Their number two fear was death. So if you go to a funeral, most people would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. No, it's not good. But it does make a point, and everybody kind of laughed, but they got it, because people hate public speaking. So then I launched into why I became a public speaker, or why I joined Toastmasters. I had gotten a new job at the campus, and I knew I would be asked to speak in front of a large group of people. And I said, I need to address this. I need to get over my fear of public speaking. So I joined Toastmasters. And it doesn't really teach you how not to be afraid of public speaking. It just teaches you to organize your thoughts, create interesting presentations, something with a good introduction, with a good conclusion, and do some good research. And then it gives you the opportunity to practice the skill, everything that you're learning. And I thought that was a good presentation. But I had also asked two former Toastmasters who worked on campus to come up and give their experience about Toastmasters. The first was Andy. He's the librarian. He came up and he said, you know, I was afraid of public speaking too. But I was in the master's program and I knew I was going to be asked to present on all different topics to my classes. He said I knew I had to get over it. So I joined Toastmasters, and he never regretted it. So that was a great supporting argument. And then I brought Sarah up. And Sarah's like, I was also afraid of public speaking. And she said my career was on the slow track, and I needed to get on the fast track. She said I didn't want to be in my position for my whole life. So I joined Toastmasters. She happened to join it at where she worked, and she said it was great. We met at lunchtime. It created camaraderie. I got over my nervousness. We got this little tight-knit group that really became good friends. And now she's the assistant vice president of career services at Champlain College. So she definitely made it on the fast track. Both were great presentations about why you would join Toastmasters. Then I got back up and I said, okay, here's some of the stuff that you're going to learn. I showed them the Competent Communicator Manual. And I said, this manual builds on skills. You start off talking about yourself, and then you end up, oops, my timer just went blank, sorry. And then you just end up building on these skills. So you end up learning how to use body language and how to use vocal tone and all these things. So it really is a nice way to learn how to public speak. There's also the Competent Leader Manual, which tells you how to give good evaluation and good feedback, and how to lead meetings, and how to be more organized. And then there's also the Officer Handbook. If you get elected to an office, it teaches you exactly what you need to know in order to complete that office. It's a great program for everyone. I then went through a slideshow that told them everything that they can get personally and professionally through Toastmasters, and all the things that the employers will gain by having a Toastmaster as an employee. It was such a compelling argument, such a compelling presentation, that I have 7 people who want to join the new club, and several more want more information. So I think it was pretty successful. Not only that, but people came up to me, not only the rest of the day, but the next day, and they said, I really enjoyed your presentation. You were a good spokesperson for Toastmasters because I could see what it does for you. So now, not only do we have another success story to share and put in our Why Join Toastmasters file, we already know why Toastmasters is great. It's time to tell everybody else. That's Toastmasters.